the New York Jets be targeting Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham at pick number 7 in the 2025 NFL Draft? Well, we're going to talk about it on today's edition of the Jets Report. Welcome in. My name is Patrick Siepman, and then also on the tail half of today's show, the NFLPA report card grades did come out, and it is not good for the New York Jets, so stay tuned for that. But first off here, want to highlight some random news around the New York Jets. Sauce Gardner, allegedly dating rapper Ice Spice. They were seen in a video the other day. So I guess Sauce, his offseason consists of, dating Ice Spice and playing a lot of golf. So clearly Sauce having the time of his life this offseason. But, funny news here. Sauce Gardner allegedly dating Ice Spice. So, yeah, that's info there. But let me ask you guys this before we dive into the Mason Graham segment on today's show. Who is your favorite Jets player of all time? Now, this doesn't have to be the best Jets player of all time, but who is your favorite player to watch? Listen, I'm a younger guy. I'm 25 years old, so I don't really understand, or I don't know about the guys from the 80s and the 90s. And if you guys have a cool name to drop down in the comment section, please do so, and let me know your favorite Jets player of all time. All right, let's dive into it. Could the Jets be targeting this guy right here, number 55 from Michigan, defensive tackle Mason Graham? Now, I am huge on this guy. I think he's got one of the highest floors out of any prospect coming out, but it was actually Connor Hughes who connected the Jets to Mason Graham, saying this: one player he could be targeting is Michigan defensive lineman Mason Graham. Graham spoke at the NFL Combine on Wednesday and described himself as one of the most dominant players in this class. One of the reasons why he can affect the game in so many different ways, he brings maximum effort every single play. That is something the Jets could use on the interior of the defensive line. And listen, I love the idea of Mason Graham and Quinnen Williams playing next to each other. Like Mason Graham, one of the highest motors you will see out of a defensive tackle, honestly, in the entire NFL once he gets there. And then Quinnen Williams being one of the most special talents we have ever seen at the defensive line. Those two together would give the Jets an unbelievable front four on that defensive line. But the question is, are there other positions of need for the New York Jets over defensive line? Because I do think Mason Graham would be a home run pick. It would give the Jets one of the better 1-2 combinations at the defensive line. But could they target like tight end, wide receiver over that position? We'll kind of dive into it. But more on Mason Graham here. He is it's been awesome for the Wolverines throughout his entire collegiate career, winning the national championship back in 2023 and this past season with not a lot of talent around him besides Kenneth Grant and Will Johnson on that side of the football for Michigan. He was still unbelievable. Mainly that Ohio State game, he was just dominant in that matchup. But 3.5 sacks, 34 pressures from the interior, awesome stuff. And, listen, Mason Graham, like I was saying, he's got one of the highest floors, but also his ceiling is incredibly high as well. I think that's one thing that's kind of been misinterpreted when people are talking about Mason Graham. They say, oh, he has a super high floor, but they don't really view him as, where he could be on the Quinnen Williams level. I think he could reach that. I think he is that special. His motor is ridiculous. His moves are ridiculous, and he just plays the game of football from the defensive tackle position for the team. Like, he never tries to play too much for himself. Everything he does is for the team, and whatever role you give him, he will go out there and execute it at the highest level. And my pro comp for him, I've seen this floated out there a lot, and I love it. Christian Wilkins of the Las Vegas Raiders, more known for his time with the Miami Dolphins. So Jets fans, we know about him, all a little too well, but just in terms of motor, in terms of just overall skill, physicality, just dominance at the defensive line position. Like, he really does remind me of Christian Wilkins. But I also do want to show you guys Charlie Campbell. He works for Walter Football, one of the best NFL draft analysts in the game, and he wrote up this article on Mason Graham saying, one of the harder commodities to find for an NFL team is interior pass rushers and well-balanced defensive tackles that are solid against the run while being capable of contributing to the pass rush. It is nearly impossible to find interior pass rushers like Aaron Donald, Warren Sapp, or John Randall, so NFL teams are just hoping to find good run-defending tackles that can help the edge rushers by getting a push into the pocket to prevent quarterbacks from stepping up. Having a tackle that can contribute 5-8 sacks is very valuable, and Mason Graham is that type of prospect for the next level. Hence, he should have plenty of teams hoping to land him next April. And I agree with that. Like, a lot of teams are going to want to get Mason Graham in the organization, but I think also the biggest positive Graham would bring to the New York Jets is he would give them an unsolvable problem, because when you would have Graham and Quinnen Williams on that that defensive line, if you're scouting for the Jets defense that week, it's an unsolvable problem. Like, you can't do anything to solve that unless you have, 3 all-pro interior offensive linemen going against those two. But those two from the interior, good luck solving them, because every single week when a team is game planning for the Jets, if Mason Graham is the selection, they're all saying, how do we stop those two? It would truly give the Jets an unsolvable problem on defense, which I think is a great advantage to have in the NFL nowadays. But, a lot of conversation. Who would the Jets draft at pick number 7? This is a tough one for me. Who would you draft? Give me an MG for Mason Graham, or our favorite, TW, for Tyler Warren. I was trying to put myself on the spot here, but honestly, I don't have a good answer. I'd be thrilled about both these guys. I think I would still probably go Tyler Warren, but if you guys say Mason Graham, I'm not going to disagree with you whatsoever. But let's dive into it. So the Jets' NFLPA grades were not good. The Jets, yet again, were one of the lowest graded teams in the National Football League on mainly their owner, Woody Johnson. He got an F grade in the latest. But here's the full grades for you guys. Treatment of family, C-, 24th in the NFL. Food/dining area, C-, 29th as well. Dietician, B+, so shout out to the Dietician, 13th in the National Football League. But locker room, D+, 26th. Training room, C, 28th. Weight room, C+, 26th. Strength coaches, B, 29th. Team travel, C+. Head coach got a B, 25th. But that last one, ownership, F for Woody Johnson. And, this is incredibly concerning, because I think when these teams, when they're hitting free agency, and this is the free agency era of the NFL where player movement has never been as high as it is right now. And this is a problem, because if guys are coming down to, let's just say, like the New York Jets and another team, and they go see the NFLPA report card grades, why would they choose to go to the Jets over another organization, especially if it's like a true blue chip player who doesn't want to, waste a year of his prime? Because as we know, NFL primes are a lot shorter compared to any other sport, especially if you're an offensive or a defensive lineman. So this is definitely an issue. But the question I had was, like, does Woody Johnson care about this? Because it is so concerning that an owner can get an F grade. Considering the owner, it's not like he is talking to these guys every single day. Like, take Breece Hall, for example. Been with the Jets for the last couple of seasons. How many times do you think Breece Hall has talked to Woody Johnson? Like 8, 9, 10 times, if that. Like, does Woody Johnson care about this, care about him getting an F grade, and will it change? But I also do think it could change because of that guy right there, Aaron Glenn. And you guys take a look at the Washington Commanders this past season. Heading into the year, they were dead last according to the NFLPA grades, 32nd overall. But now they are 11th. Big reason why? Obviously they did get a new owner, but they also got a new head coach. They got a new GM. They got a new offensive coordinator. They had a whole new coaching staff, and they completely turned that organization around. And just hearing what Aaron Glenn, everything he's about, just his process, just his mentality, I think the Jets will be one of the most improved teams. When these report cards come out next season, it won't be a bunch of C's, D's, and F's. Hopefully it's a bunch of A's and B's for the New York Jets. But speaking about Aaron Glenn, you guys let me know. What is your confidence level in Aaron Glenn being the New York Jets head coach? Scale it for me, 1 to 10, down below in the comment section. You guys sound off for me. For me, I'm probably sitting at a 7.5 or an 8 right now. Big believer in our guy AG, so hopefully he can turn this organization around. But also, friendly reminder, hit that subscribe button. We got a video coming out every single day this offseason around your New York Jets. So go down there, hit that sub button. Don't miss a thing, and we'll see you guys next time. Go Jets.